Most people believe that financial freedom starts with earning more, but that's not the truth. There are people making six figures who are broke, and people making half that who are quietly building real wealth. So the question isn't how much money you make, it's how you think about it, how you use it, and whether your life is actually aligned with what you want. Because if you don't define your relationship with money, it will define you. And most people don't even realize that's what's happening. They follow the path they were told to follow. Get the degree, get the job, climb the ladder, and for a while, it feels right. There's validation, status, stability. But eventually, something starts to feel off. You wake up one day and ask yourself a question most people avoid. If I'm living this exact same life in 5 or 10 years, will I actually be happy? And for a lot of people, the honest answer is no. That's where everything begins. Because the real risk isn't changing your life. The real risk is staying stuck in one that was never meant for you. But here's where people get trapped. They think change requires a dramatic leap. Quit your job. Risk everything. Chase your passion. That sounds exciting until reality hits. Now your dream has to pay your bills. And suddenly, it's not a dream anymore. It's pressure. So instead of going all in, the smarter move is to build leverage. Use your current situation as fuel. Keep the income. Create stability. And start experimenting on the side. Because creativity dies when survival takes over. And when you remove that pressure, you give yourself space to actually figure things out. That's the first shift. The second shift is even more important. You have to stop avoiding your money. Most people don't have a money problem. They have an awareness problem. There's something called the ostrich effect, where people avoid uncomfortable information, hoping it just disappears. That's why you don't check your bank account after spending. That's why you ignore your credit card statement. But avoidance doesn't protect you. It compounds against you. Your 20s, your 30s, these are the years where small habits quietly shape your future. And the scary part is, the stakes are actually low right now, which means this is the best time to fix things. Because later, those same habits become expensive. So start simple. Once a month, sit down and look at your money. No emotions, just awareness. Ask yourself, did I actually need this? Could I have used less of it? Or could I have gotten it cheaper? That's it. Because most of your spending isn't intentional. It's emotional. And if you're honest, a lot of it is driven by something deeper. You're not buying things because you need them. You're buying them to feel something, to feel validated, to feel ahead, to feel like you matter. But here's the truth. Most people never realize. Money spent to impress others almost never improves your life. You might think people are watching, but they're not. And even if they are, they don't care as much as you think. So every time you spend money, ask yourself, is this for me or for an audience? Because that one question alone can save you thousands. And while we're here, stop chasing upgrades. The first time you buy something, the happiness is real. But every upgrade after that, the cost goes up, but the joy barely moves. That's the trap. Instead of upgrading things, upgrade your life. Experiences, skills, freedom. Those compound in ways material things never will. But the biggest shift of all, understanding that saving alone won't make you rich. You can only cut your expenses so much. There's a limit. But your income, that has no ceiling. And yet most people obsess over saving and completely ignore earning. That's backwards, because money is just a reflection of value. The more value you create, the more you earn. So ask yourself, how can I become more valuable? At your job, can you solve bigger problems? Can you make your team more money? Can you reduce stress for your boss? Outside your job, what skills do you have that people need? What can you offer that solves a real problem? Because once you understand that, everything changes. Now you're not just managing money, you're creating it. And when your income grows, but your lifestyle stays controlled, that gap becomes power. That gap becomes freedom. That's where real wealth is built. But even then, there's something deeper most people miss. You can be financially successful and still feel empty, because there's a difference between financial success and financial happiness. Financial success is what the world tells you to chase. Financial happiness is what actually fulfills you. And the people who truly win with money understand two things. First, they get clear on what a good life looks like for them. Not society, not social media. Them. And second, they align every financial decision with that life. Every dollar either moves them closer or further away. That's it. But you can't do that if you don't know what you want. So most people just spend blindly, hoping it works out. It doesn't. And this is where comparison makes everything worse, because you're not measuring your progress based on your life. You're measuring it based on everyone else's. And today, everyone else is the entire internet. So no matter how well you're doing, it never feels like enough. But here's the reality. You're not behind. You're just looking at people who are ahead in a different race. And the moment you stop comparing, you start thinking clearly again. Now you can actually focus. Now you can actually build. Because wealth isn't built in big moments. It's built in small, consistent actions. Taking what you learn and actually using it. Not next week. Not someday. Today. Even something as simple as investing. Most people overthink it. They wait. They hesitate. They research endlessly. But the difference between someone who builds wealth and someone who doesn't is action, not perfection. And over time, those small actions compound into something massive, because the real advantage in money isn't talent. It's time and consistency. That's it. You don't need a six-figure salary. You don't need to get lucky. You just need to start. And once you do, everything shifts. You stop reacting to money and start directing it. You stop chasing status and start building freedom. You stop living someone else's life. And finally, start creating your own. Because at the end of all of this, money isn't the goal. It's the tool. A tool to build a life that actually feels like yours. And the biggest regret people have at the end of their life isn't that they didn't make more. It's that they didn't live in alignment with who they really were. So the real question isn't, how do I make more money? It's, what kind of life am I actually trying to build? And is my money helping me get there? Answer that, honestly, and everything else starts to fall into place. All right, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps out more than you think. And if you're new here, consider subscribing so you don't miss what's coming next. I post videos like this every week. Appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.